Welcome to an all new episode All Around. Yours truly, your host, Cardell Dudley. Sorry it's been so long, man. Just a lot going on basketball wise, a lot coverage, a lot of scouting going on. But with that, I'm trying to knock these out a little bit more consistently, frequently. Had to kind of revamp the structure of the show so I can kind of fit a lot of basketball that I'm around, in gyms at all levels, NBA, college, high school, grassroots, or whatnot, and try to fit in each episodes to really, bring the best of what's going on in DMV hoops and beyond. It's not just limited to DMV hoops. I hit the road quite a little bit throughout the year, and I see a lot of basketball. So I'm gonna try to touch on everything in these episodes that I don't touch on in my articles and other means of media as far as running the focus and obviously Wizards and GW coverage or whatnot. But before we get started, who's and ahs, man. Those are my people's at who's and ahs. Always got to give them a shout out. They definitely sponsor the show, so get over there. And also they're throwing holidays on the way. Don't hesitate. I know y'all have family gatherings, even may have corporate gatherings or whatnot, your job, career gatherings or school gatherings. Don't hesitate. Get over to the Georgia Avenue location, book your holiday party. That was nice, creating an atmosphere of warmth and celebration. Don't forget to pre-order your holiday catering for stress-free and flavorful celebrations. All right, cheers to a season of joy as Christmas fast approaches. With that being said, man, we're going to jump right into it, man. A lot of great basketballs going on in the area, especially in the specific conference that I'm all too familiar with covering George Washington. We're going to start on, the A10. I really don't think other people understand what's going on the A10 right now. Probably outside of St. Joe's, pushing Kentucky and beating Villanova, and also over the weekend winning the Big Five, man. It's a lot of great basketball being played, man. And that conference, when it becomes conference time, for those that don't know, with basketball, first part of the season, pretty much from October to December, it's the non-conference schedule. Then after Christmas break, or around Christmas break, depending on the conference, they jump right into the conference schedule, man. And the conference schedule it's a different type of competition. Whereas in the non-conference, you may catch you're playing talented teams from all around the country, and they may not have the playbook on you. They may have a couple of days or a few days to scout you out and try to figure out ways to beat you. Whereas in conference, they're all too familiar with you, your coaching staff, your players, your recruits. More times than not, they're recruiting the same type of player. So there really isn't much surprises. It really comes down to will and execution more times than not. And that's what makes conference play, in my opinion, a lot tougher because there are no surprises. It's rare you'll see a blowout. It has to be a team really on the downside as far as, just having a rough time in this season, maybe not having a lot of talent, having a rough patch, or it's just an off game where they just don't execute on either end of the floor well. But more times than not, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be a dogfight because all the teams know each other well. But the A10 right now, as obviously broadcasting the show, is most definitely one of the most competitive conference in all the college basketball. And it's not, and as usual, it's not getting the national attention that it should, but it should. Eventually, they maintain the standard of winning that they've been doing. They will. As you can see, with the standings or whatnot, currently George Mason's at the top of the list, 7-1. They actually have a big matchup tonight against Tennessee, which should be, if they win that game, they really should kind of put a spotlight on the A10 with the way other teams have pushed some of the quote-unquote high major programs. Tennessee comes in ranked 17th in college basketball, but they're 4-3, so they're they're obviously beatable. You know what I mean? UMass is next at 4-1. Dayton, which were one of the favorites coming into the season, were one of the favorites last season at 6-2. George Washington, nice influx of talent. Caputo and that stuff have done a great job with the influx of recruits and transfers. They're 6-2 currently. They actually have a game tonight, which I will be covering. They play Navy tonight. LaSalle, after a big win over Penn and the Big Five, championship over the weekend in Philadelphia, they're 6-2. St. Joe's, 6-2. They probably had the most high-profile wins out of anybody in the conference. Like I said, they pushed Kentucky in overtime, and they beat Villanova, and they just won the Big Five championship, the same Big Five championship that LaSalle played in. They won that championship over the weekend in Philly by beating Temple. So they're hot right now. They're a very good team defensively. They're a problem. They swarm. So you got to deal with them, man. They're going to be a tough out, especially where Eric Reynolds, the way he's playing local product, played at the Math and Bullets. He's doing his thing, man. He's really shining. So they're going to be a tough out for anybody. All right, Duquesne, man. They've been knocking on the door, and they seem to be breaking through where they're going to have a lot to say with who comes out of the conference. And what I mean, who's come out of the conference, who has the best record when the regular season is over, and obviously who can run the table and win the conference championship and punch their ticket to the big dance. That's the key. Day Grant, leading the way, averaging 19.4 points for Duquesne, 3 rebounds, 2.4 assists. Shooting, you can't let them get to the free throw line. Shooting just under 93% from the free throw line. Jimmy Clark III is averaging 16 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 4 assists and a team high 2.4 steals. Look, man, they got a lot of guards that can get it done, which is customary for all A-10 programs. If you don't have quality guards, it's going to be hard to win. And they definitely have that. St. Bonaventure's right there as well, 5-2. Davidson, which just been in the mix, is 5-3. Loyola Chicago's 5-3. Rhode Island's 5-3. As you see, Richmond's 5-3. St. Louis 5-4. Fordham was 4-4. Fordham was the surprise in the conference last year and ran the table. Then they got to the championship game in the A-10 tournament, I believe, and then VCU, a new head coach, 4-4, and actually beat the old head coach Rose, who's at Penn State, beat them in a head-to-head matchup early this year. So as you can see, out of the 15 teams, 13 teams are above 500. 8 teams have a winning percentage of 70% or better currently. But more needs to be said. I always scream that the A-10 is tough. They're a high caliber conference. A lot of people hear me, but they don't necessarily believe me because, there are more casual fans than diehard basketball fans, unfortunately. And, the casual fans are going to go towards the programs with the bigger name, the higher prestige that's being constantly thrown at them, instead of taking that time to really just scour the landscape to see who's really producing. And that's who you can tell who's legit and who's not. Because just because a certain program's being pushed to you don't mean they're good. And that's for all sports, not just basketball. Also, the net rating came out, and for the college basketball, and as you can see, 7 A-10 programs are in the top 100 in the net rankings. That's very impressive. I don't think it's ever been done in the conference since the net ranking, came out, and that's just a combination of wins and your strength of schedule. And you see 7 programs are in the top 100. So it goes to show you that the A-10 is a problem, man. And I can't wait for conference play. There's going to be some competitive basketball. I'm just being honest. I can't wait for it. I have no clue. Normally, there's always a favorite going into the season, like last year, Dayton, Davidson, VCU, those teams. Prior was Richmond, was in the mix. You know what I mean? It's normally a 2 or 3 teams where you can say, all right, they're at the top and everybody's chasing them. So if one of those 3 or 4 teams come out of the conference, there's not a shot. Right now, it's hard to say. Now, St. Joe's might be the favorites based on the national powerhouses that they've played tough or beat. You know what I mean? Pushing Kentucky on the road at Kentucky in overtime and beating Villanova. That shows you that they're going to be a tough out. But who knows? Like I said, when conference time comes, all that changes because everybody knows everybody so well. So, look, man, it's going to be fun, man. I'm going to be here, definitely. I'm going to be here definitely just, pumping the A-10 constantly, keeping y'all up to date, man, because they deserve to be mentioned a lot with the Cal winners. We're going to see if they sustain the winning. Moving on, we're going to move on to another areas program that is on the verge but hasn't quite got there yet. Georgetown. Now, depending on who you ask, it could be mixed reviews. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's just a lot of people are kind of, up and down, waiting to see what Cooley does. Me personally, for brief interactions and just attending a couple games and seeing his enthusiasm, seeing how, he coaches and his accountable approach to everything, even himself. I think they're on the right track. As if y'all don't know, they lost a heartbreaker over the weekend at TCU, which was which was about as tough a L as you can get, man. Look, as you can see, they're about 6-1, 51. They go on a couple. They make a couple tough baskets, so to speak. Jaden Epps gets fouled and goes to the free throw line. Hits both free throws in the clutch. I'm gonna elaborate more as this play goes on. As you can see, ball movement ties the game with that three. And here's what I'm talking about. Jaden Epps has the ball, their best scorer. He's been lighting up everybody this season. He gets fouled as he runs down the clock. And gets to the free throw line, makes both clutch free throws. And here where it gets tough. TCU with 2.7 seconds left. As we wait for the ref to hand down the ball, just walk you through it. Hail Mary pass to Emmanuel Miller for TCU. Banks home a three to knock them off. Man, like I said, it's just a tough loss for Georgetown. But the thing I like about Cooley, made no excuses. He won't even allow his team to even panic or have any excuses. He always puts it back on where it needs to be, and that we could have done some things better. Like you mentioned, we were up. I know a lot of people are kind of blaming the refs for that loss, saying he stepped on the line, but the rule states that they would have to call it as soon as it happened. Once the shot's up or whatever happens, once the play is dead from a scoring or go out of bounds or whatever turnover, they can't review it. You know what I mean? Late in the game, they just can't review it. So that's why Emmanuel Miller did step on the line. It's clear as day. It's a lot of pictures going around. So technically, that should have been out of bounds play. Georgetown get the ball, run the clock out. But that's not what happened. Due to the rules, it was nothing they could do. So he hit a tough shot, and that was the game. You know what I mean? We can, and the thing I like about Cooley, like I said, he didn't make any excuses. He said, yeah, a lot of things had to go wrong for them to get that win. But think about it. Think about where they were last year and now. They played a tough TCU team that was one of the best teams in college basketball right now. After that win, they're 7-0. They're literally undefeated, and they pushed them to the brink. Last year, no disrespect to that staff or whatnot, Georgetown, where they probably got beat by 20. Just being honest, man. But they played them tough. Jaden Epps, obviously, like I said, he's been torching everybody. He had 24 in the game. I like what I'm seeing from Styles, who's doing a little bit of everything, scoring, being a tough defender, rebounding. Jay Heath, we all know, local kid, DC, Wilson High School. He could put the ball in the hole in bunches. Supreme Cook. He didn't have the best game, but he was solid. 8 points, 5 rebounds. He just needs help as far as guys setting him up. Because when he gets the ball inside, he's a load. And he gets to the free throw line, put fouls on the other team. He's going to make an impact. He just needs touches. And Ishmael Musah, who, if you've been following me, coached him in the Kennedy League, know him very well. To me, he's the key for that team. And it's not just because I coached him. No one got to know him over the summer or whatnot. It's his game. It's his versatility and the way he can shoot the ball. I call him Logo-ish for a reason. He literally can hit shots consistently from the logo. He has incredible range. at 6'8", 6'9", but he also has point forward skill set, which means he could be a secondary ball handler when Epps or Brumbaugh and those guys, aren't in the game or they need help trapping, when they get trapped or pressing in the backcourt. He's a guy that can, help relieve some of that pressure. And he can kill you in many ways. He can get to the basket. He's athletic. He can post up. He can shoot the mid-range. I love what Cooley's doing with him, using him in the high post with Supreme Cook. That high-lows game. That, keep in mind, this is his second game back. He broke his hand early before the season started, and he just came back 2 games ago against Merrimack. So this is just his second game. They haven't even built the chemistry with those guys yet. You know what I mean? So as far as the game action, they got to reestablish that. They may have had it going into the season, but we missed so many times. Guys emerge, guys move up and down the depth chart is different. So with Ish, I think he brings a dynamic that nobody else on that team can bring. And, like I said, in the high post game, as you get more comfortable playing with him, understand the different reads or whatnot, it's going to be hell because you have to guard him. You have to close out on him because he can shoot the ball so well or he can get to the basket, and he's automatic from the free throw line. He can put the ball on the floor and create, find open shooters, find Epps and those guys spotting up from the corner, the elbow, at the top of the key or whatnot. And he throw quick dump off passes to Supreme Cook, and we all know what he does with that. He's going to dunk on whoever. He's a man-child down there. So I like that Georgetown. I like what they're doing, man. They're heading in the right direction. People just have to be patient. Just be patient. Once the chemistry grows, and then this is the healthiest they've also been all season. So once they get a little bit of chemistry, stay healthy, I think they can go on a run and then start to get the program back to how we know it, basically how it was growing up, where they were Final Four contenders, damn sure get to the tournament, and contenders to always win the Big East. That's a standard that everybody here is accustomed to when it comes to Georgetown basketball. And I'm very, very optimistic that Cooley can get the program back to that. Staying on college a little bit longer, I keep hearing this thing about high major, mid major, low majors or whatnot. To me, that no longer exists, man. To me, there's no such thing as a high or mid major anymore, or low major, and there's a lot of reasons for that. The main reasons are because of the transfer portal. Obviously, guys are, people are transferring up and down conferences, and they have something to prove. You know what I mean? And this is another reason why. Over the weekend, I don't know if you heard, Southern went on the road, won the 16, and beat the 21st ranked team in the country, Mississippi State. Also, if you may not have heard, they had 11 JUCO transfers. So you see the hunger. One thing you're always going to get from a JUCO player is the hunger, is the desire to show and prove because they feel overlooked. I know I was a JUCO player. You feel overlooked. You feel like you're better than some guys. You feel like you just didn't get the exposure. And when you get the opportunity to prove that, there is no fear. To be honest, those other teams are looking like something to eat. And that's what you see right here. That's what you see with this emotion. That's what you see, man. 6-1 team, SEC, 21st ranked team in the country. Lost to the team, SWAC. Giving their second loss. I don't think, and it's not just them, early in the season. James Madison, they knocked off Michigan State. Penn beat Villanova. St. Joseph's beat Villanova. Drexel beat Villanova in the Big Five championship tournament over the weekend in Philly. I just don't think that, to me, that don't exist. You always gonna have, super talented teams, but with the movement of transfer portal, where the college is significantly older than it used to be, also starting in the grassroots, because there are so many programs and there's so many teams playing in a lot of showcases, like a Hoop Group showcase, all these local showcases, national showcases they get in. Whereas when I was coming up, there weren't nearly as many teams. You really, truly had to be a college prospect to be on the AAU team. You could be a standout high school player and still wouldn't be able to play AAU. You really had to be a college prospect to get on that level and play. Whereas now it's more it's more everybody can kind of join in. You know, you have the money, and it's good and bad. You know, some of it's watered down, but for the kids that are serious and actually have the talent to get on this stage, like play for Southern and get on that stage and do their damage, uh, it's a perfect opportunity if you're being overlooked to show that you belong. And you know what I mean? And that's what you're constantly seeing. So these kids get their opportunity to play against top ranked guys, sponsor AAU teams or whatnot, and that's their first taste of battling with them. Some of them even, you know, diamonds in the rough might get invited to certain showcases or camps where they play against them again. By the time they get to college, they're not in all of these guys. They might actually feel like they're better, they got more heart, they're tougher. They just need opportunity to prove it. And that's what you keep seeing. So you're going to continue to see this, man. I just don't think you're going to truly see, unless it's just a rare team where they have a great mix of NBA upperclassmen, NBA caliber upperclassmen, and obviously recruit McDonald All Americans. That those type of teams where it's a good mix of that. I just don't think you're going to see uh, where you know the high, so quote unquote high majors are just going to always come into low major gym in and low major gyms and just slaughter them. You know what I mean? Those days are over. I think those guys have got to come prepared to play. Can't worry about the name on the front of the jersey. And damn sure can't be sleeping because they may not know who the kid is because of the name on the back of the jersey. Because that's how you can get beat. And this is a further example, man. So I love it. It's a lot more parity in basketball. It's a lot more competition. And it makes people have to be on their toes. And also the coaching aspect. It's not even just related to the players. The coaching aspect, let's be honest, some coaches in the past, because of the program, kids are coming to play on the big stage and whatnot, and their talents are making coaches look better than what they are. So now you really have to coach. You really have to make adjustments. You really have to develop players. It's not enough to just get talented players, 4-star, 5-star, 3-star players, and think you just going to go in and a lot of gyms and just beat teams and stuff like that. That's not going to happen if you don't know how to coach. These coaches from lower mid majors. You know, Jones. One comes to mind, Jones at Norfolk State. They just recently beat VCU. Uh, you know, look, they're gonna beat the hell out of you. They're gonna beat you. They're gonna upset you, and have the AD athletic department, athletic director, boosters and stuff looking at you like, should we get somebody else in here? So if you don't want those problems, you better be ready to coach your butt off, man. But you know, shout out to all the low mid majors not bowing down, competing and handling business and pushing guys and making it an even more interesting college basketball season. We continue on with something else that's been bothering me. We're gonna move to the NBA. Something else that's been bothering me, you know, a little bit. This is just this is just annoying. Heckling. It's been a big debate about heckling and does it belong? Should it be out of sports and should it belong in sports? And um, you know what I mean? Should it be allowed? Like if a fan start to heckle, should they be kicked out immediately? My my thoughts on that is hell no. Look, I get it. Some fans they go overboard. I get it. They go overboard. They go overboard. They get disrespectful. And this is on the heels of what you see Russell Westbrook going at it with a Clippers fan. They're going back and forth or whatnot. My take on this is if it's not something where they're threatening to do something to your family, let's say it's a home game. Russell Westbrook has his family close by, and the fan is heckling the family and his kids, his wife and kids, threatening them because he's liquored up, drunk, or something like that. If it's something that serious, not only should a fan be kicked out, he should be banned. He shouldn't even be allowed. He or she shouldn't be allowed back in the arena to even attend that game because he's crossing the line. It could escalate in something physical, and we all know what happens after that, man. Once you get physical, all of a sudden, you know they're all of a sudden it's a lawsuit and it's a no-win situation for the players. I get that totally, understand that. But if it's heckling, a player's struggling, and they're saying, "Yo, you're trash, Russell Westbrook. You're not good." Uh, you know they heckle him in that because he's struggling from the field or whatnot. Oh no, a player got to eat that. The player has to eat that. I don't want to hear that. You know, I don't want to hear the excuses. The player has to eat that. That's just part of the game. You're supposed to be mentally tough. You're supposed to be mentally tough to ignore all of that and keep pushing forward and play your game. That's what you get paid the big bucks to do. You're a professional. You can't let that rile you up. Some people, fans of Russell Westbrook, and I'm a fan of his as well, man. But I call a spade, man. If you played basketball before, high school, college, AAU, pros, you're going to get heckled. That's just part of the game. Heck, if you play it on the playground in your neighborhood, you're going to get heckled, man. Guys going to be in your head. People going to be saying you're trash, you're not good, and you got to shut them up. That's part of it. To me, the reason why Russell Westbrook went off because he was struggling. He was 4-12. He had 3 turnovers. He had 8 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. It wasn't his customary Russell Westbrook type number, type outing. Meanwhile, Reggie Jackson was going off at 18 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and 7 of 11 shooting. To me, it was just a rough night at the office, and that's why he took it out on that fan, and the fan was letting him know about it. You know what I mean? So, we got to stop all that, man. You know what I mean? I just think that just comes with the job, that comes with the territory, and if you can't handle it, shouldn't be out there. Time to hang it up, or you shouldn't be out on the floor. To me, I love when fans talk trash. I'm one of them types that it gets me going. You know what I mean? I'm already on edge, and I love shutting up a fan. One of my favorite players as far as one of the greatest shooters in NBA history, if you go back in time, that got heckled a lot. And it's a famous clash between him and the famous directors, Reggie Miller and Spike Lee, in the Garden. Reggie Miller was struggling for the field. Spike Lee's heckling him. And Reggie just looking at him. It's building. Then he snaps. Full quarter, goes off. I think, what they say, 25 in the quarter or something like that. Goes off, or 25 in the second half, something like that. Goes off. And after every shot, against a championship caliber team, the Knicks at the time, trying to get to the championship, he goes off. And after every shot, he's literally looking at Spike Lee, holding up choke sign. He turned the tables on Spike Lee from when it looked like Spike Lee was getting to Reggie. Reggie started torching the Knicks so bad and making everybody understand it's because of Spike Lee heckling them that it made Spike have to shut up and sit down, and New York turned on him. Had him on the front of the newspaper, news outlets, fans looking at him like, yo, shut up. You see what you're doing? That's how you handle hecklers, man. So guys need to stop being so mentally weak and get mentally tough. And Russ is mentally tough. In this situation, he showed mental weakness. He did. And that's just keeping it about. You got to be mentally tough when it's going good. You got to be able to stand it when it's going bad and change the time. As soon as that fan would have started talking, I'm going to take it out on your team. I'm going to make sure the world knows you're the reason why your team got this loss, and I put these numbers up on them. And then you take that home with you and have people all in your DM and social media calling you stupid, heckling you because now their favorite team lost. That's how you handle hecklers, man. So I don't think it should be out the game or whatnot. Players just got to get tough, man. If they can't handle it, hey, man, find a different outlet, man. Staying on the NBA side of things. Got to shout out the hometown guy, who I call the best from out the area, period. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's no question. Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? He recently broke Moses Malone's. Well, he passed Moses Malone for 10th all time on, the NBA all-time scoring list. I'm not too shocked because we all know Kevin Durant's a world-class scorer. He's been there since high school. To be honest, it's not something you should be too shocked about, but it's also a testament to his greatness, man, to his work ethic, to him staying the course, man. You got to respect it. Here he is right here. This is the bucket where he passes the late, great Moses Malone. He drives, scores inside, takes the bump, scores inside or whatnot. He passes him, man. You just gotta respect that, and seeing a homegrown guy do it, it makes it even more special because, we've had some elite, some of the greatest do it. The Elgin Baylors, man. Len Bias, the late great Len Bias would have been one of them for sure. Adrian Dantley, Dave Bain, man. Austin Carr, Steve Francis, Man, the list can go on and on, man. They're just guys that Grant Hill before he got hurt. The list can go on and on about local guys who made it to the league and put numbers up that can score the ball, man. But Kevin's the best. You know, it's just no denying that he's the best. Got the championships, the accolades to prove it. And the thing I always loved about Kevin, man, you know, being from here, I understand the traps that can get young players when they like young phenoms that coming up when they're, you know, it's obvious that they're headed towards the show, the NBA that he was heading on in high school, definitely when he got to college. And one thing he never compromised was staying in the gym, no matter what was going on, whirlwind, all types of stuff, personal stuff, you know, off court stuff, you know, people attacking him or whatnot. One thing he never let that affect him staying in the gym and putting in the work and staying ready. And that's why he's one of the greatest players to ever do it. You know, look, it's not an easy task. Look, Moses Malone came straight out of high school, scored 27,409 points now. I think he's well over 30 if you add his ABA stats. They need to do that since the ABA merged with the NBA. All those stats should be included. It's a crime that they didn't do that, but they still haven't done that. But maybe they will one day. But regardless, he still scored 27,409 points, you know, in his NBA career. Moses Malone did. And, you know, Kevin passed that, and by the end of the game, he was sitting at 27,450 points. So, and it's counting, obviously. They actually have a game tonight against the Lakers in you know, the little play-in tournament or whatnot, which should be fun to see, man. Durant is currently averaging 31 points. If he maintains that 31 points, it would be the second highest scoring average for a season in his career. Keep in mind, he's 35 years old, and he's still putting up these numbers. At the efficiency also, you know, he's shooting 51% from the field, 49% for three-point range, and 89% from the free throw line as I broadcast this, and throwing along 6.4 rebounds, 5.8 assists, and 1.2 blocks. It's just all around excellence, and that's what makes him the best and one of the greatest scorers of all time is because of his efficiency. I don't really give a lot of scorers, you know, a lot of credit for, you know what I mean, for, you know, scoring bunches, but you're shooting like 35% from the field, 40%. That just means you're throwing the ball up a lot, and then some of them just happen to go in. A lot of players can do that. But when you don't need a lot of shots and you make them count and you make them hurt, you know what I mean, like Kevin does, you know, that's tough, man. You know, that's just tough to guard, and he can light you up from anywhere on the court, man. It's really no way you can stop that guy, especially with his size and whatnot, man. So, you know, salute, man. You know, salute to, you know, the best that ever came out of area, best to come out of the DMV, for sure, man. So just keep it going, keep maintaining that high standard for our area, man. Before I get out of here, by the way, I wanted to touch on something, and I'm gonna end every show with this, which is something that related to sports, but something that I feel, you know, needs to be discussed that isn't discussed. Talking to a friend of mine who coaches about a week or so ago, and you know, regarding the DMV basketball and the overall state of it, we both agree that while it's high level, it could be in a healthier place. You know, as successful as the area is in hoops overall, you know what I mean? It's funny business, and it's a lot of toxic, shady stuff that goes on, and it's disheartening. Because most importantly, it affects the kids, and it affects the high school players and the college players who having adults guide them, mentor them, teach them with agendas, and that shouldn't be the case. Your main mission, if you're in those positions to coach kids or work with kids to help them maximize their talents and their ability, is to get them better. That should be your main mission. Get them better, and it's not just relegated to on the court too, because basketball and life it goes hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. If you're a lazy basketball player, that pretty much means you're probably gonna be a lazy person in life. You're not gonna clean up. You're not gonna work hard at your job. You're not gonna work hard at school. If you're not keeping your word as far as being prompt and being on point as far as getting to practice on time, you're lying to your coach saying you're working when you're not in the gym with them or whatnot. And when you see them, your game isn't improving. You're not in the weight room. You're not doing these things. If you're lying about that, you can't keep your word on that. pretty much in every phase of life, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna keep your word in those things either. And whatever you're saying, yeah, I'll go pick my little sister up and my little brother up. Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I applied for that college. Yeah, I filled out my FAFSA. Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I called the coach back. I texted him back. More than likely, if I can't trust your word on the basketball court and in the gym regarding the game you so-called love, I can't trust your word when it comes to life. So they all are intertwined. So you can't have shady, dishonest adults with no integrity guiding kids, because what you think they're going to teach them? They're going to teach them what they are and what they know. And sometimes they may not even realize they're doing it, but that's exactly what it is, man. But my partner asked me what was the main definitive reason for this, why the area isn't so healthy in basketball, even though the high success rate. I didn't have an answer right away. I had to sit down on it. But to me, at the very core of the issue in my eyes is insecurity. Insecurity drives a lot of things that people aren't aware of, man. It makes you do some evil stuff. If you don't check that and look within yourself and realize I got a dead this part of me and I gotta improve. You can just look around. You know what I mean? It could be a kid. Like I'm happy when anybody shines. It doesn't have to be anyone I'm connected to. When you come from our area, understanding how talented it is, how loaded it is, the talent, the coaching, but also the traps that can take you out. And we've seen some of our best and brightest. I just mentioned Len Bias get taken out by these traps. When you see guys or girls, when they stay focused, stay on their path, keep working, and they achieve and they take it far, take it to the highest level of college, get to the pros and whatnot. Why would you hate on that? Why would you try to discredit them? Why would you try to just throw negativity their way? You should be applauding. Rather they play, it don't matter if they play for your AAU team or not, or your high school team, you recruit them, they made a decision not to mess with you, or if they did at one point in time and they made a decision to go elsewhere. Who cares, man? If you truly care about that kid, hey man, if that's what you want to do, fine. I wish you well, and hopefully things work out for you. And then you can sit at home, even if they do continue to move up the ladder or whatever in basketball, you can sit at home and just say, I played a small part in helping that kid achieve their dreams and goals. And that's what it should be about. I just see too many agendas, hidden agendas attached to these adults, and it comes from insecurity. A lot of guys never played basketball or weren't that good. A lot of guys didn't play at a high level, and they kind of feel like they still have something to prove. Like, and my thing, I have a saying where we had our time. Guys my age, we had our time. Our mission right now should be whatever we know, passing it forward. I'm fortunate enough to do that with a lot of kids and been doing it for years, quietly behind the scenes. Due to my media and scouting journey, I don't tell them what I would do in that situation. I'm not them and they're not me. I like to ask them and their parents what is it that they like to do? What are their goals? And then I go from there. I give them all right, these are the pros and cons in this situation. Here are the pros and cons in this situation. Then I leave it up to them. So that way, whatever they choose, they got to own it. At the end of the day, it's the kids' journey. It's just like when they're choosing a school and you have some AAU coaches like, hey, you should go to this program because it's a bigger name program and it looks good for the program, but it may not be good for the kid. The kid may not be good enough to go to a high major program or whatnot. They may not get the opportunity. They may have flaws in the game where it warrants them not being able to play. Sometimes coaches in college lie. That happens too. But at the end of the day, it's about what's best for that kid, not what's best for you and your program. So if you feel like it's a better opportunity for this kid at a not so big name program, you should try to tell that kid that'll be the better option for you. I know such and such when these blue bloods have offered you, but I think you would flourish more in a mid-major conference. You would be the man and whatnot. And at the end of the day, a lot of people quote it, but you can tell they don't believe it. If you're good enough, the NBA will find you. The NBA will find you. Look, I don't think it's a lot of qualified evaluators as is. So, again, agenda driven. So they gonna just pump up whoever they connected to, whatever AAU program they're connected to, instead of just calling it like it is. If a player is from a non-sponsored program and they happen to be better than everybody in the area, why not say they're better than everybody in the area? And they've proven it. Showcases, camps is consistent. Why not say they're better? You know, it's really not that hard, man. And I just see people trying to protect themselves off the agendas because they're wrong on certain situations. They're wrong about certain kids, and they don't want to be exposed as not being who they claim to be or appear to be. And a lot of kids are getting caught up in the crossfires, and their potential is being snuffed out because of greedy, insecure, agenda-driven adults, and it's just not right. Do I think it will ever change? I like to be optimistic and positive, but I don't think it will change. I just think parents and kids, yes, kids have to grow up a little fast in this game now because of the social media aspect and the way people get in touch with you. I think parents, especially in kids, have to be more educated on who they're dealing with, what's their track record, and just don't go off what a coach or scout has to say. Like I tell people all the time, don't take my word for it. Go look at it yourself. I always say that. Don't just listen to me. Go look at it for yourself. And then oftentimes when they do, they come like, yeah, I see what you're saying. You're right. You know what I mean? And also before I get out of here, parents, these are your kids. These are your kids. You make the decision for your kids' future. Because if all fails, and I've seen it time and time again, kid can be on fire, having every article written about all these mixtapes, all these people love him, the love of your kid, he on his way and all that. And if the kid don't pan out, all those people disappear. Those kids will be walking around in the gym, and those same people that was kissing his ass and all her ass and all around and all that, they're nowhere to be found. They move. Matter of fact, they're pushing that kid out the way to get to the next kid. And you as a parent, you guys are going to have to be left to pick up the pieces for this kid who feels betrayed, feels left out in the cold, feels like a failure or whatnot because they didn't achieve everything that they felt they should achieve or what they were told they were going to achieve because a lot of people are just using them for their own game. So parents, be parents. Don't let that happen. You know what I'm saying? Be a parent. Like, yeah, I hear you, but my kid going to stay in the gym and keep working. They ain't did nothing yet. And don't let AAU tell you what you can and cannot do. If you feel like it's a showcase that may benefit your kid, that help them out or help them get better, by all means, send them to that showcase. Who cares what the AAU coach thinks, man? They're not your kid. Like I said, if all things go to hell, that still will be your kid. You're going to be the one that have to pick up the pieces. All those people disappear, act like, and blame you, ironically. They're going to blame you for all that, man. So, that's my message on that, man. If you're not the insecure type, you're in it for the right reason. The coaches, the mentors, the trainers, the scouts. If you're doing legit, like I know I am. My heart's always in the right place to help these kids. If you're one of them, man, continue to do what you're going to do, man. Continue doing that. It's needed more than ever. And, the kids, they may not appreciate it now, but I guarantee you when they get older, they will appreciate it because I appreciate all my coaches, guys that took the time to work with me and look out for me to this day. I appreciate them greatly because they all helped me get to the stages in my life and help me get to this point that I'm at right now. Without them, I wouldn't be here doing this broadcast and preparing to cover and scout, the best and brightest in the game of basketball. So with that being said, this is episode 16 all around. Cardell Dudley. I will be back more frequently, man. Appreciate y'all joining me, and see you guys soon.